Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this edition of Shelbyville Now Sports Talk Live. Today I have the gang back, minus one. We got Mr. Bill Anderson here, Aaron Parker, Dr. Garrett. Good to have you back from your travels. Kenny Parker is out playing softball today. He's not playing, he's umpiring softball day.
And I'm sure he's doing a fine job.
I'm sure he's doing a fine job. Guys, we want to welcome you in here, and we want to let you know that you can chat with us live, and we will interact with you. So please, if you have any comments about what we're talking about, or if you want to talk about something yourself, hear us talk about it. Just send us a message, and we'll get it real quick, and we'll try to talk about it. Let's start out with our county teams, guys. Bill, you've got our rundown on that. Tournament time is here, so where do we stand?
Let's start with Webb. Earlier this week, they played Good Pasture. Good Pasture's no joke. 88-19. The Webb girls beat Good Pasture. 88-19.
You got to think they're favorites to win the state championship.
You got to think so.
Yeah.
And then last night they played Providence Christian. Beat them 57-28. So the Webb girls are now 28-4 on the season.
What about the boys?
Boys are still rolling.
Yeah.
They beat Good Pastures. And Good Pasture, again, that's a recruiting, no-joke school, 67-58. And they beat Davidson Academy, who's got a good ball club, 69-55. They're now 19-10. I believe they've won 10 in a row.
That's good.
So the Webb boys have really got it going on, too, right now.
Going into the tournament.
Going into the tournament, they're rolling and won 10 in a row, and that's the time you want to peak. It's tournament time.
Okay.
I think Webb can maybe both of them make a run.
It sounds like it. That's good. We want to congratulate them on their wins and wish them luck going forward. What about Community? Where are we at with Community?
All right, Community, they lost to Forest. The girls did last night, 47-28. And then the girls, I think, play Monday night, I believe, against Grundy County. I believe that's how this shakes out. Is that right, or is it tomorrow?
What did you say last night? Community won.
Did they win?
Community won.
Cascade girls lost.
Yeah, Community girls won. Cascade lost.
So that means the Cascade girls are out.
They're in the I think they'll be in the consolation.
Okay, so will they move on?
I think only the top two will move on to the regionals, but they'll play consolation game.
And then tonight you've got Community and Cascade, right? At Cascade tonight?
Yes, boys.
It's at Chapel Hill.
Yeah, Chapel Hill.
Chapel Hill, where the tournament is.
Yep.
Okay, so they're playing over at Forest.
And then I believe the Community girls may play Grundy County Monday night. Does that sound right?
Let me think.
Because
Grundy County, Chapel Hill. I think Forest beat Cascade, right?
Right.
So they'll play Community girls and Forest to play.
Okay, so we've got the Community girls and Community boys still alive, and Cascade girls are in consolation. Cascade boys play tonight. Okay.
Community and Cascade play each other tonight.
Yes,
First game at Chapel Hill, 6
It's not that far over there, guys. So
no,
if you want to go see a good basketball game, drive over to Chapel Hill tonight and support those two groups of young men.
Shelbyville Central.
Yeah, Central plays Warren County tonight, the boys. Is that right?
Yes.
And the girls got beat by Franklin County.
61-49.
Does that put them out?
I still think they've got another game the way these districts are so small. I think everybody sort of, because there's not before in the district, therefore everybody kind of moves on by default to the region, and then you lose in one more game. You're
right. Okay. All right.
Hopefully with reclassification, Dr. Garrett, you might can allude to this in basketball. I know we know more about football, but it's going to change basketball too.
It will. It'll take us, Community and Cascade, it'll take us out of those East Nashville regions and take us into like Mount Pleasant, Summertown, those regions.
And hopefully the regions maybe are a little bigger where it's not 4 teams in a region.
Exactly. Yes, that's what we're hoping. So we'll see.
Okay, so we've had a good season for some of our teams. Others, they're young and they've got to build on what they've done this year. Looking forward, and I don't like to do this now, but looking forward next year, you got to think that the Cascade girls are going to be a lot better, and they've been playing hard, and they have something to build on. The Central girls are young. Did they have 3 seniors that they're leaving?
I think they just had one.
One.
I think it's one, and
Yeah.
most of it was freshmen and sophomores he had out there
Okay.
that were actually playing.
They're actually playing,
They're actually
so
playing.
They're going to be a year older, so they should have something to build on. And of course, the boys they've just got to mature some, and then you've got
Now, there's a tremendous amount of athletes coming from Harris and that freshman sophomore
Yes, there
class
are.
at Central, and
Yes.
there is a good group coming through here in all sports.
yeah. So we should
Whether
see
it be
some.
baseball, whether it be basketball, whether it be football, we should see an uptick.
Yeah, that's
We
what I was about to
also
say.
had the Tennessean Athlete of the Week. Did y'all see that this
No,
week?
no, I didn't.
Sophie Ray, Cascade girls.
good.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
very
she
good.
scored 28, several 3-pointers. She was the Tennessean. I mean, big time. She
Good.
had like 15,000
That's great.
votes.
I was about to say, yeah, the Cascade girls, they are all freshmen and sophomores, and starting out they weren't as great because the freshmen and sophomores don't have a lot of experience. But down the stretch, they've been playing pretty good. They've been playing teams real close, playing very good defense. Our offense has been getting better. So
What's kind of odd, though, the way basketball's looked at is you got Cascade having to go play with teams like Franklin County. Franklin County's so much bigger than Cascade. It just is.
Yeah.
And you notice that. Hopefully, when we get the new scheduling or the new bracket comes out, I would hope it would mirror football a little bit from the standpoint the old District 8 to where you're kind of in there with the same type schools.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Back in the old days.
Right.
It's been
Well, because it's not far to drive. There's a rivalry built up.
Right.
You tend to have better
Right.
gates both ways with both sets of parents, and people travel. Like Dr. Garrett said, you playing somebody from East Nashville. East Nashville's not coming here, and our parents aren't going to East Nashville,
No,
and
takes
it cuts the
forever.
gate.
I remember back in the day, we'd go over to Columbia and fill that place up
Absolutely.
every time. Lawrence County, we'd go over and fill it up.
And then when they played us, they brought a crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it hurts you on the weather too. Like Grundy County last year and this year, they call me at tournament time. Hey, we can't go that far, the weather,
Right.
and it hurts us when they're traveling that far. It's the only school that travels a great distance to get here. So hopefully we won't next year.
So we have baseball and softball season getting cranked up now.
Practice started this week,
Yeah.
Monday.
I
And
think the Shovel's supposed to be pretty good. I think Cascade's supposed to be really good in baseball.
Yeah, the new coach Sheffield.
Coach Sheffield from Tullahoma.
Yeah, they've been doing a whole lot with the facilities. One of my buddies is helping coach the high school, and he's been showing me videos of pictures of revamped locker room
that thing
and,
looked great.
and the pitching facility.
Yeah.
It's amazing the work that they put in. It looks amazing.
I'm just shocked Tullahoma let Sheffield get away. That because his family name over there is
Yeah.
well known, and I'm
Yeah.
just shocked. Which good for Bedford County getting.
Yeah, it is.
Because I heard he does a heck of a job out there.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
they've got a really good pitching staff, is my understanding as well.
Yeah,
So we want to look forward to that. And I know community, of course, they're going to be jumping in things too. I know over the last few years, they've been trying to build their facility up.
Right.
Have y'all been out there and
I
looked at
need to
it?
go out there and see. We need to get Coach Davis on because he's the baseball coach, I believe, and the
Right.
basketball coach. One thing about community basketball, I don't think people realize too, is I think his two best players never played because they got hurt in football.
Yeah.
Which really,
That
and
hurt
he
'em.
was young, but he
Yeah.
lost his two best players in football. And he's still, they haven't won a couple of games, but boy, they play people tough and they play hard.
They don't give up. That's for sure. Okay, let's flip the page, Bill. Let's start talking about a little college basketball now. We're going to forget about the NFL because
Who played this week?
what?
There was a big basketball game.
you talking about football?
And it was the
Super Bowl?
number one team in America.
Oh, you're talking about
Went up to
Alabama.
where?
Is that why Kenny didn't show up
Uh,
today?
That's
it may
it.
have been.
I don't think basketball means nearly as much to him as football does.
I don't
Well,
think so.
that's true.
Yeah, so
It still
It's
hurts.
Did any of y'all have
It
to
still
catch the
hurts
game
when
though?
Alabama gets beat by
9 points.
that daggone orange team.
I know.
With
gosh.
Tennessee missing two starters?
Yeah, this is a team I can't figure
I
out.
can't either.
I mean,
I will give Rick Barnes credit here. He played, I can't think of the kid's name, but he put him on Miller and played him man-to-man the whole darn ball game, and he was after it. And Miller is a baller. I mean, Miller is going to be a
He's-
top 10 NBA draft guy,
Yeah,
and this kid shut him down.
wow.
I'm
Well,
not.
Now, Tennessee still got the same problems they've been having. They can't score, and they go through droughts when they can't score. But they played defense as good as anybody in America, and they were physical. And I thought Coach Barnes did a really good job of attacking them inside like Oklahoma did. If Alabama's got a weakness, they cannot defend the post.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't claim to be a big basketball guy, but I watched the game and I don't know the names of the posts. That number 0 And that the big tall dude, 33, he's got a weird last name, but they were just dominating Alabama in the paint. It was bad.
It
Yeah.
seems
But-
like you don't want to be ranked number one, right?
Yeah,
No.
Yeah,
You don't,
definitely gonna
especially
fall.
you don't want to be
there's a
ranked in
great
the
team
top
here,
three.
because I still think if you had to tell me who's the best team in America right now, I would still say it's Alabama, because I still think they've got 5 or 6 guys that are going to play in the NBA. But they didn't shoot it good that night. And when you don't shoot it
Purdue's
good that
pretty
night,
good.
Purdue's good. And you know, they lost 2 games this week,
Mm.
Yeah.
back to back.
Well,
And they've got a great big boy. That big 7'4" boy, he can play ball.
yeah, Purdue's the one I think that you gotta see them sneaking into the tournament and doing really well. I think they're gonna be in the final.
They're not
four.
sneaking in. They're,
Well, no,
they're
I know,
knocking
but-
the front door
But I
down.
mean, after the couple of losses, they're gonna come back. I think Tennessee's gonna come back strong. Alabama will be standing there.
Yeah.
And what's Auburn gonna do?
They've got
You
to go.
think they're gonna get beat by
I think
Vanderbilt?
today they've got problems coming in Nashville. I've been watching Auburn, and they have the same problem Tennessee's got. That for whatever reason, they don't shoot the ball well. Now, usually Bruce Pearl's teams do. This bunch does not. Vanderbilt can shoot it. They've won 4 in a row. Stackhouse has got them playing. It's in Nashville. They really built off that little buzzer beater against Tennessee.
Yeah.
I put them on upset alert. I think Vanderbilt's going to get them today.
They might very well do it. Well, it's going to be interesting. We've got to have a little contest of some sort. We're going to have the bracket set up whenever
I
it
love
comes
doing the
out. I
brackets
know
and
you do.
tournament
I
time.
know
Yeah.
you do.
I'm always terrible.
And
at it.
we're going to go
Yep.
ahead and bow to you, Bill, for winning picking the Super Bowl winner, going against the grain, the contrarian gamble.
I
that
think
you-
I
do you have a
hang on.
speech made?
No, I don't have
Okay.
a speech. But I think I brought up 3 points on your Super Bowl. One of them was the better coach.
Okay.
Okay. That guy, the first half, Philadelphia's getting them pretty good
When did you write these notes?
yesterday.
Yesterday. You didn't do that before the game. You're talking about
I'm
after
talking
the game.
afterwards, but
Okay,
I
just
did
looking
mention the
back.
better
Okay,
coach. And let's go
okay.
back to what he did. He went to the running game the second half and ran it for 120 yards, right? He took the running game from Philadelphia, ran it at him. Philadelphia went away from the running game.
Yeah, I don't know why they would do that, but they did. Yeah.
And the Eagles had the best pass rush in the NFL with 70-something sacks. You know how many times they got Patrick Mahomes? 0.
Didn't they get him once?
They did not get him at all. Now, they hurt his ankle, but he got rid of the football. He never got sacked one time
Okay.
in that Super Bowl. Now, I would have thought they would have adjusted, brought more, especially when you saw his ankle was hurt.
Yeah.
My first thing would have been, you know what? We're going to test that ankle in the third quarter.
And where was A.J. Brown in the second half?
Disappeared.
He vanished. In the first half, he had that one big touchdown catch.
Yes.
And he had a couple others. But in the second half, where was he?
Yeah.
But is it the difference that Andy Reid had been there before? I thought his adjustments were great. And I didn't see Philly make any adjustments at all. In fact, they went away from who they were.
Yeah.
The speed on the perimeter too, which is what Tennessee doesn't have,
Yes.
killed them in the second half.
That little number 10. What's his name? I can't remember his name.
Tony, Kadarius Tony. Is that
And
No,
we're
talking
getting him
about
too.
for-
He's my number
For
30.
Kansas City. Number
Oh,
10.
it's the running back.
Yeah, the running
Pacheco.
back.
Pachinko?
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
my God.
he hits that hole so fast. I mean, he's bomb.
Yeah.
And
He was
and
either a 7th
I think
round draft pick
seventh
or
round-
was he undrafted out of
seventh-
Rutgers.
7th round pick,
Seventh
I
round.
believe. Yeah.
7th round pick. Boy, they got their money's worth there.
Yeah. No kidding.
But you know, Coach Reed really doesn't like to run the ball, but he knew the second half he had to. And buddy, they ran them. And that kid, number 10, you're right. He's
Yeah.
good.
Oh, he was
And they make
electric in the
smart and they
second
make
half.
smart football plays at the end of the game.
Yeah, he
Number
just
one's
falls
going in for
down.
the touchdown.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
over.
And he just takes
We
the knee
milked
instead
the
of scoring a
clock.
touchdown,
Yeah.
milks it right on
Yeah.
down.
Well,
That's smart
that's
football.
the Eagles we got to get him in the end zone because we've got to come back. We don't have time.
You could tell they were trying to let him score.
Yeah, they just stopped.
Yeah.
And guy
McKinnon, that's his
slides.
name.
Yeah.
Jaden
Yeah.
McKinnon.
Yeah, great play. It's a good
The other guy
game.
that I mentioned was Kadarius Toney was going to make 2 big plays, and he did. He had a big touchdown catch.
Yep.
And then he had a huge punt return.
Oh, massive punt return. That
Massive.
would have been
a
the first.
game flipper.
I didn't know that there's never been a punt return touchdown in
I didn't know
the
that
Super
either.
Bowl, and he was
almost
about
got it.
8 yards away
Yeah.
from doing it. But
Well, okay, let's
Why did the
get
Giants let him go the way they did? Or was it just a deal where
I,
he was electric last year a few times? Was it Dallas? He had like 17, 18 catches in one game last year.
I think it
Yeah.
was like a
But he stayed
coaching
hurt.
dispute or some sort of where he didn't really fit in their offensive scheme or something. I'm not too sure, but I think it was some sort of coaching dispute.
Well, there was 2 pass plays in that game that were the same play and a touchdown both way. Number 24, I think the kid's name is the rookie.
Sky Moore.
Sky Moore caught one of them, and the other was the one to Tony. And it was the same play to 2 different guys, one on the right, one on the left.
And Travis Kelce had 60 yards in the first quarter, was going off, and then the rest of the game, he really, because they just kept running it. They didn't really need to go to their number one guy.
And how about Mahomes getting hurt? And you can tell he was
just
hurt.
kept on going.
But that's whatever he took in that locker room.
That was
That
that
helped.
might have been a perfect time to get hurt. Was at right before halftime in the Super Bowl when the halftime is like an hour long.
Yes.
That's what
Yeah,
I was going to get
speaking
to.
of the
Did it
halftime.
help that you
Hold
got
on.
that extra time?
Let's talk about this, and we want to hear from you guys out there. Did you like the halftime show?
I have to say I didn't watch the halftime show. We were trying to watch it on the plane. We didn't
I
get to
tried
see.
not to.
I thought it was fine. I like where it's sort of just simple. It's not going too over the top crazy. But watching it, they had Rihanna, who is pregnant, on that stage with no harness or anything. That was like 100 feet off the ground, something crazy, with no harness, just standing there on a platform that's maybe twice as big as this table, singing. I was like, oh goodness.
Well, the national anthem was great.
The national anthem was very good.
It was good.
I wasn't a fan of the halftime show.
I wouldn't either.
Well, I
It is
just seen
interesting.
it. I just
But I
seen
usually don't
Chris
like the
Stapleton.
halftime show. So there you go.
I don't either.
I'm
I
not.
don't either. It's time to play ball.
We're not there for the halftime
No,
show.
we're not. Thank goodness. But anyway,
But where does Mahomes go down at 27 years old? Already won 2 Super Bowls. He could play another, 15 years maybe? 10
Oh, yeah.
years?
how old is he?
27, 26,
28?
27.
This was his 5th year.
5th year in the
In the
league.
It doesn't seem like he's been around a long time. does it?
I saw something where they compared Mahomes' stats now to Brady's stats at the current point, and they both had 2 Super Bowls, but I think Mahomes has 10,000 more passing yards, like 20 more touchdowns, maybe more than that, maybe like 100 more touchdowns, 2 MVPs where Tom Brady had 0. It's going to be.
And the way his contract is, 10 years, $450 million, does not handicap them like other contracts because most of it's written at the back of the deal.
Mhm.
So he's not killing the Chiefs at all. And he's doing what Brady did. And this is why I think Brady won all the Super Bowls and Peyton didn't to a degree. Peyton always took the money when he could get it. And I'm all for it. Brady took a little less money and had better people around him.
Yeah.
And when you get a guy like Aaron Rodgers with the Packers that's taking up $60 million, it's hard to field a football team when one guy's making 60, when I think Mahomes on paper is making less than Tannehill, actually, if you went and looked at by the year, the way it goes to the cap.
You may be right. I think the way his contract was originally scheduled was Mahomes is going to make around $40 million a year.
But cap number's lower than that.
But
by
like
the
you
way it was
said, they
manipulated.
could keep manipulating it. They could just keep pushing it back and back every year to make it to where they need it to fit. So,
And hats off to the Chiefs, too, when you think about they won the Super Bowl and they let Tyreek Hill go in a trade, who was one of your best receivers in the league, and they turn around and win the Super Bowl without the guy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. People were saying that we'll see how Patrick Mahomes really is without Tyreek Hill.
We see.
We see.
Yeah.
Well, let's think about this too. There's a common thread for all the great quarterbacks. They usually have one head coach their entire career. You look at Dan Marino, was with Don Shula the whole time. You look at Roger Staubach, he was with Tom Landry the whole time. You got Mahomes now. You got Brady with Belichick the whole time. Now you've got Mahomes that's been with Andy Reid for his first 5 years. Let's just hope if he can stay, if they can keep that combination together, I think he's got a chance to go down as one of the greats. But I think that's a common thread for most all of the great quarterbacks that we talk about.
And hats off to Philadelphia, too. They're not going anywhere. That roster's loaded.
Yeah,
definitely.
I do think they need to get a real running back that is a real guy that can really, with that power scheme they got, if they had a guy 225, 230 that could really run it up in there, it would make a huge difference.
Oh, yeah.
Because I didn't think Miles Sanders played very well in that Super Bowl.
I think it looked like in the first half, Kenneth Gainwell was getting most of the carries, and he's
just
second
so
or third
small.
round.
He's so small.
Yeah.
Dude out of Memphis.
He just seemed to find the holes better.
Yeah.
Or something. Miles Sanders was trying to force it, and it looked like Gainwell was a little bit more patient, and he would cut back and find that hole and get the extra.
Yeah.
One time I thought he was dead at the line. He got 9 yards on the run. I'm going, how did he get that?
Yeah.
But they were running the ball. I thought fine.
Give him a good power
away.
running back like the kid at Texas. He's really good and can catch. Somebody's got some power to go with that big offensive line and hurts his running game. That they would really be really tough.
Oh, yeah.
What Titans news do we have?
It's all slow.
Well, the
What's
rumor
gonna
is
happen?
one
I
of the
mean, what
rumors.
is gonna happen?
One of the rumors is that Tannehill's flying under the radar to the New York Jets. That there's a lot of other big names ahead of him, and that they like Tannehill better than anybody. Have y'all heard that same rumor?
I've heard the rumor, and then I've also heard the
Following
rumor.
Downey.
Yeah.
See where Todd Downey got the passing game coordinator with the Jets.
How does he get a job? and then look, they went and hired as their offensive coordinator the guy from the Hackett guy from the Broncos, who was just awful. I don't understand what you're doing here. Now you would think that the Hackett move was designed to get Aaron Rodgers. You would think. The Downing move, I don't know what they're doing there.
Well, maybe.
But here's the reason I can't see anybody wanting to trade for Tannehill. Who would want to trade for that contract?
Nobody, but
he only has 1 or 2 more years
it's
left.
1 year, but it's $38 million if you trade for it.
Yeah.
And that's a lot for what I don't for a 35, 36-year-old guy that.
So y'all think he's here? He's not going anywhere.
I think when you saw the coaching changes you made, and a lot of it was internal, I think Vrabel's going to go 1 more year with it. That's what I think.
The clock is ticking. What do you think? Aaron?
I don't know. It's tough because I know the guy personally, or I worked with him. I won't say I know him personally, but he's a great dude, and I will always root for him.
He's a hard worker.
He's a very hard worker. And I know last year whenever he wasn't playing, I had to just eat him up inside because he's a competitor and he wants nothing more than to win and help his teammates out and be out there with them. So I'll always root for him. So I think he's good. So
Titans did hire the offensive coordinator from the Broncos is now the running backs coach. He did make a few good. That was a nice hire. I heard Blaine Bishop on 104.5 talking about yesterday how he liked Sam Darnold. He thought they needed to bring in someone in that $10, $12 million range. For a bridge.
Yeah.
And bring Dobbs back.
As a backup. What do you do with Malik Willis at this point? Has he been given a chance at all?
This is the only thing I'm saying. He may never be. I don't think the kid was put in a good position.
Yeah.
I don't think he was given a good chance. I don't think we did things that he does well. Now, let me see him when we're going to run bootlegs and let him run and be who he is. And then I don't think we did that for that kid. And I don't think he had anything to work with. Give him another year. We'll see what he does. He's under a rookie deal. Doesn't hurt anything.
Yeah, and he can be on
the
practice squad. Yeah. All right.
What we need, the Titans need, and Kenny alluded to it too, we need speed. And Vrabel said it, speed.
Right.
The wide receiver position, speed. We look too slow.
Yeah.
Still, we need offense. Obviously, we need offensive line help.
That's the number one thing.
Yeah.
You're playing with third string guys second half of the year because you can't stay healthy. It's not good.
In this draft, there's a lot of really good tackles and a lot of really good interior linemen. I just don't know that there's a lineman that I've seen watching the stuff I've watched. I kind of study this pretty good. That's worth a high. I don't think there's a great tackle. I think there's a bunch of really good ones that you can have in the second, third, fourth round. I just don't think you use the number 11 pick on a lineman this year.
What about the Titan system, though, that has created all the injuries? Or is it the system? Is it just bad luck? We've talked about this before. Is it strength and conditioning? What is the situation?
Well, there's two teams that seem to have it to me.
It's
the 49ers and the Titans that really, and the 49ers too seem to have the same problem we have.
I honestly couldn't tell you. I really don't know. I saw where they're changing the field. We talked about that last week or 2 weeks ago. So that may be a big thing. And Dad said whenever he was reading up on it, he said the Titans field was the number 1 field for lower body injuries or something along those lines. So I don't know if that's specifically what it is, but I honestly couldn't really tell you because they don't during training camp and stuff. It's not like they're doing anything different than any other team is doing. They're not watching Hard Knocks last year. The Detroit Lions were going full speed in practice and tackling.
Oh, yeah.
And you would think that there would be more injuries from that, but I don't know.
But I do think the collective bargaining agreement limiting the camps and all that stuff has led to more injuries in the NFL across the board. I don't think these guys are as in shape as they were before because when it's voluntary, guess what that means?
Yeah.
It's voluntary.
It's voluntary.
And then when you're working out somewhere else with your buddy down here in Florida, not coming to the facility, and a lot of them do that too, I don't know how much work you're really getting in there either.
Well,
it just seems like after the CBA injuries league-wide have been up to me.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to watch this draft coming up and how they prepare for that.
But then there's another thing. How many players in the NFL had that ankle hurt when it came back like that too? There's just something to be said for certain. That reminded me of Brett Favre, Steve McNair, something you hadn't seen in 20 years.
You know what? Yeah.
You don't see that anymore.
Just play through it.
Another
That's what
guy
Bieniemy said. He knew. He said he didn't care how hurt he was. He knew he was going back out there.
another guy I think's gonna be like that is that Justin Herbert from the Chargers.
right.
Whenever he got hit in the ribs early on in the year, and people thought he just had 3 or 4 broken ribs, and went out there and played, where he would throw a pass, and it would be a rope dart for 30 yards right where it needed to be, and as soon as he throw it, he's grabbing at his ribs, and then he's going out and doing it again the next play. I think he's going to be another special one.
I do
Too. Hopefully that's sort of starting to get back in the NFL. They're getting some of the tough guys.
And I think Josh Allen was hurt a lot more than people know that last, because he didn't look right the last 6, 7. He didn't have that zip. I think he was hurt.
Yeah.
All right, guys. What else we got coming up? I know y'all follow NASCAR at all?
I don't know.
Not
There's
really.
something going on in Daytona.
Yeah, Daytona's this weekend.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
So we're not NASCAR guys. Sorry. Maybe there's somebody out there that is that could tell us what's going on. But
I was going to mention was college baseball's top 10.
Okay.
It is amazing that you got 7 SEC teams in the top 10.
Read those off.
Has that ever happened? The number 1 team in America, LSU. Number 2, Tennessee. Number 3, Stanford. Number 4, Ole Miss. Number 5, Texas A&M. Number 6, Wake Forest. Number 7, Florida. Number 8, Arkansas. Number 9, Oklahoma State. Number 10, Vanderbilt.
What's even more amazing is the top 5 are all SEC.
Yeah.
The top 5.
Well, 5.
Except for 3.
Yeah, except for the third,
I didn't hear
Stanford.
Stanford. I wasn't paying attention.
I don't know that I've ever
That's
seen a poll with a conference.
Unreal.
I mean, that's unbelievable.
Be interesting to see how that unfolds.
It will be.
Yeah. Vanderbilt's always had a good program. You got to always watch them. And Tennessee, man, they've turned it on. LSU, wow. It's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, I watched more college baseball than I ever had last year because I was watching Tennessee, and I was just that job he's done up there. It wasn't but a few years ago. Tennessee baseball was terrible.
Yeah.
And now it's one of the top programs in America.
Yes.
Well, guys, thanks for sitting down. We're going to move on, and we'll be talking about next week. We'll be talking about how our Bedford County teams have fared in the tournament so far and cover that. And then we'll be picking up some more on NFL and college basketball. We'll start getting cranked up for March Madness. Thank you guys for watching. Tune in next week. We'll be here at the same time, and we just want to encourage you to interact with us and share this with your friends so that they can come and join us and be a part. Again, thanks for watching.